Hello and welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room stream. It's just me, Chris, and Curtis today, talking all things LFC transfer-wise and other stuff as well. How are you, mate? First off,
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm great, mate. And we've got some big transfer news today, but we're just going to start off with the news inside the club that Harvey Elliott has signed a new long-term contract. Our number 67 played for Blackburn last season, had a great time of things there, so it's really, really exciting. Maybe you'll get involved with the first team, maybe you'll go out on loan this season, but we'll start off. How excited are you that Elliott signed a new long-term deal, Kurt?
I'm really excited. I think there's a big future for this boy. I think we did quite well to pick him up from Fulham when we signed him originally. And I know a couple of Blackburn fans, and they've said that he was one of their star players last season. And if we get anywhere near the quality that he showed on loan there, and we get a bit more maybe consistency, then I think he can be a real player for us going forward.
Definitely. I saw this rumour yesterday, actually, and I don't think it'll happen. Personally, not yet, because Milner's still there, boys. I mean, and when Milner goes, then maybe that'll be the thing. But not this season. Whilst James Milner's still around, I think he'll do it. Maybe they had like a gentleman's agreement, which has said maybe he'll get it next season if Milner does leave, which is probably quite likely at the end of this season. But yeah, it shows how much he's valued, and that even this rumours are going around that this is the most famous shirt in our club. So. Harvey Elliott, the likes of Luis Suarez and Kenny Dalglish and Robbie Keane have worn it. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting news. So do you think that? What do you think is the best thing for him next season? Do you think it'll be a loan or stick around the squad?
I'd love to see him stick around the squad and get a bit more experience from the wingers such as Mane and Salah, because I think you pick up so much from senior pros at that level. And for him to go on loan, I think wouldn't get the same sort of quality going into his game. In terms of playtime, I'd love to see him get a few minutes as a regular sub. I don't know if that's likely based on how young he is and how much room he's still got to go. But I think stick around the club at least until January, and then maybe a short-term loan if he hasn't played the minutes I'd like him to play.
Yeah, definitely. And well, what my opinion is that the likes of Alexander-Arnold and Jones haven't gone out on loan. So
Yeah.
like those and Wilson was put out on loan, and everyone thought it would be the best thing for him. But yes, moving on. We've seen a lot of comments about it. Is this really happening? Saul will be an incredible addition. Might be true. We don't know. Saul, mate.
I'd love. It'd be great, wouldn't it? To replace that hole left by Gini Wijnaldum. I think he's such a good player, and he's only 26, so there's still room there for him to improve. And that's something that's quite exciting as well. Under Klopp, I think that can add another dimension to his game and can contribute to us as we look to go into next season.
Yeah, he's been flying around everywhere on Turbo. Apparently, it's a 34 million I saw from the Echo, which was unbelievable. And he said he's only 26. I would have almost told you that he was 30. It seems like he's been around forever. But it'd be an amazing signing for us, especially Spanish link with Thiago and all that. And yeah, well, it leaves a really good, exciting. He's a different style of midfielder to Wijnaldum, but one that could certainly provide something.
Yeah, well, his strengths come from the tackling and the sort of defensive contribution as much as winning aerial duels and keeping possession. He's a solid midfielder. I think the only area he lacks necessarily is the finishing and the goal contributions, only having 3 contributions last season, 2 goals and 1 assist, both in La Liga. I think, again, he'd come in and cover, Wijnaldum didn't score that many. And I think that picking up in the same position could be something that makes sense for us.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, Wijnaldum didn't score loads. Loads of people are crying out for more goals from midfield. People often forget how much of a rarity that is.
Yeah.
In terms of regularly goal scoring midfielders. LFC Spectre, yes, welcome, mate. We've just discussed that. You just missed out, unfortunately. But yeah, get your comments in. What will Saul be like for Liverpool if he does sign? What would be the right price? And do you think Atletico are being a little bit too hasty in selling him? Because I think they are. Because he's a quality player.
Definitely. And I've just seen something there. His wages, that would disrupt our wage structure. I think hopefully there's a little room for negotiation there. Maybe we'll see another Michael Edwards masterclass.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think a lot of our players are based on performance to what they get paid from what goes around. It's unreal that he's being touted around. As Ali says, sorry, he's valued at 35 million, and he's got 5 years left on his contract. So it's very, very, very surprising that he's around. Other comments, thoughts on pre-season schedule. I haven't heard anything about Man United friendly. I've only heard stuff about the Rangers friendly and the Austria tour. So that's a weird one. Basuma is one that gets touted around quite a lot, but we'll stick to Saul before we get onto that. How much football would he get? Would he be one of the first names on the team sheet? Because we've got so many midfielders. There's a lot of them. And if it wouldn't be worth paying £200,000 a week to someone who would be a rotation option.
It's a great point. Where we're at the moment, I think to get into the midfield, you've got to beat the likes of Fabinho. You've got to beat the likes of Thiago and Henderson. They're probably the three you'd line up with it when all fully fit. But I don't know. I think you've got something to prove. If you can come into the club and disrupt it, it shows a real sort of sign of quality there. But maybe not towards the sort of start of, if he does join, towards the start of his career, I can't see him being a regular.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good point from Darren that it leaves the likes of Naby Keita a little bit in trouble. But in terms of, we all love him. Like we all love to see and the potential of Naby unlocked. And we thought we might have got it at the start of last season. We thought we got it the season before that. Naby lad. Unfortunately, I think if Saul does come in, I think that's the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think the writing's on the wall there. If we are looking to pursue more midfielders, it would indicate definitely that we're looking to get rid of a few at the same time.
Absolutely, we've got to be more ruthless. We've got to be more ruthless, guys. I know it's horrible. And then but what like bunch of midfielders for Curtis Jones to learn from? I mean, to have the creative excellence of Thiago, the leadership of Henderson and Milner. If Saul comes in, the what he brings, Fabinho's tackling, he could develop massively, and that's probably another thing that we might consider with Saul arriving in.
Definitely, yeah. You're going to have that sort of pool of midfielders that you can pull different aspects towards yourself and sort of think, oh, that's how they do something. That's how I want to do it. And of course, when you see players of that caliber and you bring it into your own game, you're going to raise your own game.
Yeah, definitely. This is the age-old debate: move TA into midfield. No, why would you? Why don't fix what isn't broken? That'd be it, really. And one thing about Saul, which is really interesting, is his injury record. Pretty non-existent if you look at it. So I'll read out his appearances in the last few seasons. Okay, so let me just get it. 33 matches in La Liga last season. Not bad at all for a COVID hit season. Before that, so he's made 227 league appearances since 2012. So this is his injury record. So 31 games 2015-16, 33 2016-17, 36, 33, 35, 33, and including 34 for Rayo Vallecano as well. That's really interesting. And that might actually be a big factor in the signing, don't you think?
I think so. We've got a lot of players that have been unfortunate with their injuries. You look at Joe Gomez, you look in the midfield. Henderson hasn't the best of time this season with the groin injury as well. I think looking at a player that's reliable, I think is something that we need to be focusing on.
Oh yeah, mate. Honestly, and it would be saucy as well. Thiago again is another one that hasn't had the most amazing injury record before.
No. Richarlison did break his knee, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, you can't really blame him. You can't really blame him. This is an interesting one. Everyone knows my thoughts on Oxlade-Chamberlain from the last stream, if anyone was here. So, would you rather sell Ox than Naby in the stream? Let us know in the comments. It's an interesting one. Personally, I would rather sell Naby because he's not as effective in a lot of positions. I mean, Ox can play many positions and can play quite a few of them well. That's be the whole reason why I'd keep him. But what would be your verdict on that?
I think, what did I say last time? I've got to try and remember now because I think I've had my head sort of turned or focused. I think Ox gives you that versatility that Naby doesn't, like you've just mentioned with the positions, and you want to see him in the false nine, don't you? So got to keep him around to see if that happens.
Yeah, false nine Ox needs to happen, guys. It absolutely needs to happen. We all need it in our lives. And he can also play right wing back and right back as well. So, it's interesting. I'm not sure about everyone's connection today. We've both had dodgy connections in the past, so let us know if our connections are going. By the way, guys, everyone keep interacting in the comments. One comment I did see earlier, and I apologise if you didn't get it, but I did see Saul or Renato being brought up. It's interesting. But I think Renato Sanches is 23, Saul is 26. One's a bit more experienced and hasn't had as much undulation in their careers. Saul or Renato?
For me, I think it depends on which side we want this midfielder to play. Saul focuses more on the left-hand side. He got his best performance of the season, was an 8 out of 10 against Villarreal. That was his man of the match performance, operating from that left side. Whereas Renato's was over on the right as a right midfielder against Metz. So I think it depends on where we're going to play them. That's where I think the key decision needs to be made.
Yeah, and I mean Henderson plays on the right. Thiago plays on either side because he's that good. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, for me, it's a Saul every single day. For not only the experience he brings, but the winning mentality he brings. As he's just said, Joel, I believe, has just said, he's just won La Liga, so yeah. It's why it's come from a credible source. So yeah, we're thinking about this. So Ben Davis, I've seen been interest from Celtic and Bournemouth today. On season-long loans, not permanent deals though. Would you? I mean, he can't stay. Surely he can't unless it's about the homegrown rule.
Yeah, I think he was brought in as emergency. Like we were struggling at the time that we did bring Ben Davies into the side. I think a loan has to be something that he's thinking about. Any player wants to get minutes, and I think down the pecking order with our centre backs coming back from injury, you've got to be looking to play football. You can't just stay as a even reserve option. I believe he was at one point. It's a tricky one for him.
Yeah, definitely. Nat Phillips is another interesting one. We had a whole stream about this LFC Spectre, so I'm not going to delve too deep into this, but there is the stream, so go and watch that to get all our verdicts. But for me, it was at the start, it was very much a firm keep, and with everyone coming back and Canate and potentially another centre back coming in, I'm edging towards sell if we're talking about one of our most sellable assets.
Yeah. I'm the same. I think his stock at the end of last season is as high as it will be. I think with less minutes this season coming up, it's only going to go down, and we have to make sure that we operate as much as people don't like football clubs being businesses. We have to be sensible, especially after a COVID hit season.
Definitely. We've discussed this. I'm not sure it would be too true because James Milner is still a Liverpool player. It would be sort of a bit disrespectful. He's one of our great number 7s. We've had so many great ones. And yeah, it'd be disrespectful. I think he's got 1 year left on his contract, so he'll probably play out. Maybe there's been a gentleman's agreement that he might get it next season, but hopefully, yeah, I wouldn't say he'll get it until next season if he does get it at all. And he's a young player, and the number 7 is a very, very big shirt to take from Liverpool.
Yeah, it is. It's so much pressure.
Yeah. Shea Ojo is a player we haven't really covered too much. He was probably the next best thing 5 years ago. He's probably the Harvey Elliott of 2016. He's just had a season-long loan at Cardiff and not really set the world alight. He was good towards the start of the season, but completely petered out, fell out of favour with Mick McCarthy. He's definitely off, if I'm being honest. And if we can get 2 or 3 million for him, it's probably a good deal. But I'm a little bit sad because he's one of them players who I thought was going to be unreal.
Yeah, I was the exact same. I remember I went and watched, it was Liverpool away to Swindon Town in a pre-season just after we'd signed Benteke. And that was the goal. He chested it and volleyed it to open the scoring. And then I remember Shea Ojo had a shot right at the end, which our on-loan keeper, Vigouroux, palmed into his own net. And I thought, maybe this will be a little bit of motivation, a little bit of something to get in the manager's sort of good books and to get a chance, maybe in the cups. And from what I remember, it's just been a bit unfortunate for Shea. I thought he was going to be our next, it's going to sound bad, but our next sort of Sterling, maybe our next sort of winger that could make a difference. And unfortunately,
our next Jordan Ibe.
Jordan Ibe, what a man. What time that was.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Whether Harvey might try and make 67 his own. He's already started HE67, but HE7 does sound so much better, doesn't it?
I reckon he just wants to sit next to Trent, really. I think he might keep the number just for that purpose.
Oh, who wouldn't, man? Who wouldn't? Daniel Malen has been going around a lot recently, but I'm pretty sure I would put my money on him going to Borussia Dortmund after Sancho's to Man United is formally announced.
Yeah, they've got the money for it now, haven't they? They can invest in the squad again, having another big player leave. I think I'm a big admirer of Marlon. It's a shame we're not looking to pursue that, but I think the history between his agent and us isn't the best. So unfortunately, it looks like one we're just going to have to let go.
Yeah, so talking about pre-season, you said James Balaguese. I do agree, Spectre. He is a really, really top talent. Saw him for England under-18s, actually. But here are the players reporting for pre-season on July the 12th. So James Milner, Adrian, Ben Davis, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kanate, Matip, Phillips. This is a long list. Origi, Woodburn, Williams, Reece Williams, Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tsimikas, Kelleher, Mane, Salah, Keita, Jones, Awoniyi, Grujic, Elliott, Karius, Minamino, Kane, Clarkson, Pitaluga, Harvey Davis, Billy Kumetio, Owen Beck, Cade Gordon, Mushilovsky, Tyler Morton, and Connor Bradley. There's a lot, as we mentioned in the team video. There's a lot of young players in and around there, and a complete lack of internationals. The likes of Andy Robertson being rested, Nico Williams, Harry Wilson. So yeah, it's quite an interesting bunch. Do you think it making big impact on the start of the season and how we line up against Norwich?
You know, I think it might. I think we've seen the Liverpool official account posting a lot about these youngsters getting their first sort of big deals with us. And I think maybe that's a sign of activity to come within the transfer market. I think maybe we're looking to bring a few youngsters through this season and hopefully we can make some marquee signings. I don't know if the money's there. That's the problem. But it could have quite a big impact if these youngsters do impress on the Tour of Austria. I think that's going to be a big chance for them to get some senior minutes as we look to start the season.
Yeah, definitely. So we've talked about Harvey Elliott, we talked about Saul, we talked about Renato Sanches. There's another couple of things that we have to go through. I saw this earlier. Shaqiri is another interesting one. Whether he will stay or whether he will go. There's not been any formal bid that we've heard of. So it's gonna be weird if he does stay or go, because he's one of those. It's like Origi. It seems like he's going every summer.
Yeah,
I remember after his first season, like he was really, really good in his first season. He was rumored to go, and I was like, why? He gives us something different on occasion, but on others, it just seems it's a bit questionable as to like what he's actually there for, what his best position is as well. What would your opinion be on Shaqiri staying or going?
See, I remember when the interest there was the heavy links with the Serie A and moving over there. I was quite keen to sort of see, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what develops. But after his performances to the latter stages of Switzerland's Euro campaign, I want to see a little bit more from him in the midfield. I really do.
It's weird, especially if we start to change a little bit of system, maybe a 4-2-3, want to dabble in this year. Once more, it'd be interesting to see Shaqiri in that 10. We did towards the back end of 2018 and the start of 2019, and he was very, very good. But yeah, he seemed to fall out of favour a little bit. Had a few injuries, and he's an option. He is an option, and he provides something different. He's good from set pieces as well. He can whip a free kick into top bins. I just think he's class. I hope he stays. If I'm being honest with you, he just gives us something completely different. Unlike Origi, who is just shocking. So this is an interesting one. Why Adrian would got a new contract? Mainly because he's third choice. Like we just need a third choice keeper. I'm not against
I don't think there's much more to explain on that one. I think that is the case. I think Kelleher's now in prime position to be Alisson's deputy.
Yeah, and he'll be playing well. He'll be playing all cup games and maybe even a cheeky Champions League game or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we're in a really good. It's a really interesting discussion actually. We might do a completely separate stream on this, but in terms of domestic cups, it's never been Jurgen Klopp's favourite thing, favourite pastime, shall we say? But I think we're in a much better position now with the players coming back. I don't know how much we're going to sell this summer, but with the players coming back, we're in quite a good position. I think for domestic cups, in terms of trying to get through to it all depends on the draws, obviously. So we're not gonna get too invested. But domestic cups this season, it might be a little bit more of a priority.
I'd love to see us win the FA Cup under Klopp because we've won the Premier League, Champions League, Club World Cup, Super Cup. Like I want to see us win one of the domestic cup competitions.
Wembley, right? Just a day at Wembley would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Definitely. Jeremy Doku's a really interesting one. As we've just seen, he performed brilliantly for Belgium at the Euros. Looked really, really up for it. 19 years old, a bit like Origi did in the World Cup, Like he was just really, really up for it. But again, he had the tour of Anfield when he was 15 years old. He went to Rennes, and then now to. He'll probably get a move this summer. Whether it'll be to Liverpool or not, we don't know. I'd love for us to go to him. He looked really, really impressive in the Euros.
It's been heavily quoted that Klopp said he could replace Mane, didn't he? So I think there's that admiration there. There's that link. That's probably why he's been touted to join us this season by a few sources. But again, another player to keep an eye on. I think he's got a real good future.
Now, moving on from transfers, we will get back to them. Don't worry, we are the LFC transfer room. It's mostly what we talk about. This little beauty.
So good.
Let us know in the comments if you've ordered yours. But what are your thoughts on the kit, mate? Just describe.
Gorgeous. I think that's the only. It's so nice, isn't it? I think you've got a bit of retro sort of 90s flashback there with the color scheme, but you've kept it a bit modern. It looks so nice. It looks so good.
What it does look like, I reckon, I could wear that to a party as a smart casual.
You could. You really could.
But then also pull it off as a football shirt. It's stunning. It has this sort of collar, the 1819 collar, with sort of a retro 90s sort of fossil feel to it, and I love it. I honestly love it. It's one of my favourite kits of all time, and I haven't even seen it on the players. It's just that green collar, mate. It's just it's LFC transfer room colours, by the way. Can we just put it out there? We were ahead of the curve. Absolutely, everyone. You just have to be thankful for us. So we've already got. Can't wait for us to win the league in it. To be fair, it would be one of the most beautiful kits for us to win the league in. So I just like that pinstripe one from 1920 was gorgeous as well. I love that. Yeah, definitely. I saw pictures of Paddy Berger the other day in it. By the way, can we just shout out for Patrick Berger? He's one of the best looking men to ever play football. 100%. Absolutely. Back in the day, I just sort of saw the photos. Everyone knew Paddy Berger, but it was a quite baggy shirt, so it didn't really show him off as much as it should have done. But blimey, I'm a straight man, but I'm more than happy for Paddy Berger. Canate, of course. We saw Canate pictures yesterday as well.
That reveal he did in his home sort of town, that was nice, wasn't it? When he sort of took his shirt out of the bag and had Canate 5 on the back, which we thought we picked up on, and when he was in the swimming pool with all the inflatable letters and numbers.
Oh, mate. He was always going to get number 5 anyway, realistically. Yeah. There was no other number that was remotely available that would have been just as good for him. But yeah, he's the first 5 Gini Wijnaldum and then Daniel Agger to follow. So 2 very, very big players in his footsteps. Absolutely. So going back to the main subject of the stream, Saul potentially set to sign for Liverpool. Very, very, very interesting. For those of you who've just joined us, welcome to the LFC Transfer. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That would be very, very helpful. Talking about Mateusz Musialowski, the players that we've seen in the under 18s and 23s this season that might be getting a few minutes in pre-season. Be nice to see him get a few games.
It's always nice to see when we've got players in the academy actually get a chance. As much as we hear so many good things about them, it's better when you're able to see them play amongst players that have that star quality and that start for Liverpool, just to know, because I think you do see the best out of a player when they're able to play with a better team. So fingers crossed we do get to see glimpses of his potential in pre-season.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about the stars of pre-season in the past, we've seen the likes of Ryan Kent absolutely tear it up at the Allianz Arena. Harvey Elliott, Harry Wilson in 18-19 pre-season was brilliant for us before going on loan to Bournemouth. I remember that pre-season. Actually, everyone was worrying because we lost a few games, and then we went and had one of our greatest seasons ever. Um, just gonna put it out there. So don't. That's why you just don't get too hung up on pre-season ever. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting campaign this season. Maybe or maybe not with Saul Niguez in the Liverpool midfield. Who knows? Final verdicts: will it happen? Curtis Betteridge, will it happen, mate?
Yes, it will happen. Optimistic. It will
I
happen.
love to see it. We love to see it. I'm
Come
50,
back to this
50.
video when it doesn't.
I'm 50-50 on it. Let us know in the comments. Will Saul happen? Yes or no? And we'll get some of your answers up on the screen. For me, it is a tiny yes. I'm not. I'm sitting
Okay.
on the fence. My arse got splinters in it. Fence sitting full. But I'm just going to go slightly on the yes side. I think it makes so much sense, especially for the availability that he provides, much more than all of the midfielders that we have been linked with. And one of the greatest markers of ability is availability. So, yeah, I'm a little bit less like this. I'm more like 55%.
Okay.
So
All right.
because of the sources as well, we'll see how much it hots up. But there was a lot of big ones, big sources for like Mbappe in January. So look, anything can happen. Expected wages, it'll be hot. It'll be a lot.
I do think that could be one of the things that stops us. I'm not, but if he's willing to take a little bit of a cut and be invested within our sort of wage structure, I think it can happen.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of our money goes. Don't forget, like you can moan at FSG not spending, but they keep our best players here when they're here.
Yeah.
With our performance rated, performance based pay. I mean, I think Firmino, every 5 goals he scores, he gets a bonus. Or Salah, I think it's a similar one from their contract releasing. So it's unreal. Genie wages are free as well. Don't forget, he wasn't on loads, but honestly,
it all helps, doesn't
it? Diogo, you're literally repeating everything we've just said, and you are absolutely correct, mate. Honestly, in terms of sales, we'll finish off with sales as Peter has just commented here. All 4 of these could happen, realistically, especially the middle 2. I think are the most likely to happen. Grujic is very, very set on Porto, I'm pretty sure. And Wilson, might be set for another loan.
But it's that if he wants to leave, that's sort of a sticking point, I think.
Yeah, and like 15 to 20 million is the price that we've set for him. Yeah, and I know Wolves are long-term admirers, but maybe maybe Tottenham might want him after
someone might leave. Yeah.
Oh, and Nuno's gone there as well, so maybe who knows? It might be Tottenham bound. But yeah, I personally, as you said, he doesn't want to leave. Like, why would he?
No, I think with Taki as well. I saw in the comment there. I'd love to see another season for him. I really want to see him succeed with us. I really like Takumi.
He's class, mate. He has a smile on his face. That's what we love to see. Such a lovely fella. And as Jacob confirmed on our Southampton video, he's apparently like the nicest bloke anyone has ever met.
Surprised.
And hopefully, I really hope he succeeds. He seems like a really nice fella, but the nice guy doesn't always win, unfortunately. And finally, we'll go to Nico Williams, one of my boys. Do you think he'll end up leaving permanently or on loan?
I think he stays as our second right back option. I think you need depth. After last season, it showed that we need that depth in the team. Maybe not right back if Trent can keep fit, but still as an option to rest him when we need to. I think depth wins you things, and him staying will be important for us.
Yeah, don't forget it. Football's a squad game nowadays. It's far more than 11 or even 18 players. It's all about the 25, really, that you have. Especially, well, hopefully they implement 5 subs more, because we've seen in the Euros how much it makes an impact on players' fitness. There's not been many injuries apart from the real high-profile one to Spinazzola. Like, there's not been as many injuries, which is interesting to say the least. And it's only because a couple of stuck-up people in the Premier League thought that it's not right. I don't know why that it would favour the big clubs, but it wouldn't, because it would make sure that everyone was still fit. So
yeah, it's so important.
Yeah, and we've seen obviously with Liverpool this season. Last season, sorry, with the centre back things and then the midfield things, everyone just kept dropping like flies, and it happened with other clubs as well. It's for the in interest of all clubs, I think, to implement five subs. But yeah, I think that's probably a sensible place to finish, Kurt.
Yeah, I think so.
We've covered lots of stuff today, which is great in a nice compact half an hour stream. But yeah, last thing, Curtis. I'm not massive into my England, but I know you're more England than me.
I am more inclined, yeah.
Yeah, is it coming home?
No. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course
Absolutely.
it is. I can't say no. I can't say no, can I?
Yeah, and as LFC Spectre has just said, Copa America. So watch out. Hopefully, maybe our Brazilian boys will get on. That'd be nice. But yeah, who we hoping for a win in the Copa America, mate?
See, I'd love Ali, Fabinho, and Firmino to win, but I love Messi as well. So it's such a hard choice. I think I want Messi to win that international trophy with Argentina just to prove that he is the greatest footballer of all time. And I think Firmino, I think the Brazilian boys will have another chance. I think this might be Messi's last, though.
Yeah, it probably will be, actually, if you think about it. He's 33 now.
Yeah, it's quite sad, actually. He's such a good player. What a man.
I know, man. I know. Anyway, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a really enjoyable stream. We'll be back probably sometime this weekend. I won't, but someone will. I got a stag do tomorrow, so nice. My weekend's count. Stag do tomorrow, then Euro final on Sunday. Unreal. But yeah,
what weekend?
I know, right? Absolutely. So everyone, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That'd be very much useful. Get us to 1.1k quite soon. That'd be lovely. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we will catch you in the next live on the LFC Transfer Room. Thank you very much for watching.